Hey, welcome sports fans. This is the Rideshare Commando, and I decided to do a live thing. Because America, why not? Anyway, this is Friday, and I'm not online right now, and there's a reason for it. There are certain areas, for example, in just below Belltown in Seattle, it's the Seneca exit, and once you get off there, if you do it at the right time of day, which I'm about to, you get airport runs because people are either going back to Bellevue or they're going to the airport. And it's all about being strategic when you start driving. Otherwise, you're not going to do very well. You can average as low as $15 an hour, which take away 5, that's what you're making, $10 an hour. And in Seattle, people average about $20 per hour, which take away the 5, and they're making about $15 per hour. Knowing your city is probably the most important tactic I can tell you, because tonight I'm going to be in the bar districts. I'm probably going to be on Broadway, where all the drunk people are, because I could go over by the university, and you're going to be dealing with all sorts of drunk college students and yeah, no, I'm cool off that. I had one girl call me racist for no dang reason, and here's, in case some of you are like, oh my god, did he say racist? Most of my ex-girlfriends are black. My second family is black. My best friend and brother, he's Mexican. I was a pastor in a black church, or associate pastor. So, yeah, I'm probably the least racist person in America, But, you know what, let's cover drunks. Since it is Friday and some of you are going to be out late, let's cover how to handle a belligerent drunk. The one advantage, first, if they're going to take your time, meaning if they're going to be assholes before they even get in the car, they're just going to take your time. You lost it. But one thing you can do is you can call 911. And that's kind of what's recommended, because if they're loitering, then that is a crime in most states, and they're costing you money. And that can also, if you file a police report, you can get somebody belligerent like that. Like if they say racism, and they say it into a crowd like this girl did, because I would not take her 2 blocks down the street. A literal 2 blocks. I'm not exaggerating here. And she was just drunk off her ass. So she called me racist into a crowd. Well, that is actually a hate crime. If somebody calls you racist with the intent to incite riot, incitement of riot, it's very much a hate crime. And, some people say anti-racism or counter-racism or whatever it is when it comes back on us white folks. But, you gotta be careful out there. And if they get into your car and you feel unsafe, or you feel they're too belligerent, or in her case, I wouldn't have gotten paid. It would have said too short of a ride. The only thing you can do is call the cops at that point. And usually when you call the cops, actually call them, they'll try to yell over your shoulder, and he's doing this! But the second they hear you say, okay, thank you. You say 2 minutes? Alright, I'll be here. That's when they get scared as shit. But one thing you should invest in, and I don't usually recommend extra expenses, but I would highly recommend getting the Falcon Dashcam. It's a dual Dashcam, and it comes with a 16 or 32 gigabyte SD card. So it's monitoring in front of you. That protects you from accidents. It's monitoring behind you. That protects you from stupid riders. Now, if you do any sort of video protection, what you're also going to need to do is have some kind of sign saying video recording. If you say you're being taped or you're being recorded, what usually happens is riders take offense to that, the same way that if somebody's on a street corner with a camera facing traffic, you'll hear a lot of people in traffic get belligerent. And that's just the nature of people. But get yourself a Falcon Dashcam. See, this is kind of why I don't do it live, because sometimes I get off on tangents, but you're going to be dealing with a lot of bar people today. So first off, know your city. Know where the bar districts are, because that's where you're going to make your money, right around the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock marks. Which, believe it or not, you make the most money every hour on the hour, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And yes, I know most bars close in most states at around 2. Still, people linger around until 3. Now, when you do know your bar districts, linger outside of them. Meaning, okay, here is red zone. Be here, be here, be here, be here. And the reason for that is you don't want to be driving, you don't want to have to filter your way through and be in the center of all those drunk people walking around like, ah! Or the woo girls woo, that don't give a damn about their life and will walk in front of a car going 40 miles per hour thinking, oh, he'll stop. He'll stop. Let me have my boyfriend. Yeah, you ain't going to have a boyfriend tomorrow. Sorry. Belligerent drunk people bother me. And it's not, I mean, we've all been drunk. Okay? We've all been drunk. Man, I've been plastered. Like, straight up. Woo. But I've always had control when I was drunk. I've never been blackout. And neither have these people. They don't give a damn. They're like being normal people, but they're being themselves, not giving a damn about anybody else but themselves, with the LA and Miami mentality. But now they're drunk with it. So, yeah, they'll remember the next day and everything, and they won't care, because why? The world revolves around them. Don't let them tell you otherwise. But yeah, you want to be outside of the red zones because you want to work your way in. I mean, think of yourself as mini you trying to pierce an egg and become one with the world, okay? The egg is the red zone, and you're just trying to pierce into it. That's going to be the safest bet to avoid people and minimize your slowdowns. And if you find somebody that is overly drunk, meaning they're about to throw up or whatnot, don't let them throw up in your car. I know it's easy money, but somebody's got to be human around here, and we've got to show some humanity at some point. So don't let them throw up in your car. Pull over, be cool. And if they start threatening you, then there are one of two things you can do. If they're too drunk to do anything about it, stop the car, get out, call the cops, make sure your phone's with you, and make sure you have your keys. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I mean, I love T-Mobile because they say scam likely when somebody calls you with, hi, would you like to get home insurance? You know you want to. I'm pretty sure that's what they do into the phone. So anyway, if you get somebody that, let's say you think they're going to be a danger. Well, there are two types of dangerous drunks. The first type is the type that can't, and they're just poor out here. But anyway, if you feel you cannot pull over and ask them to get out without getting into just a small argument like they're going to attack you, then keep driving and drive to where you know the police are. Hey, Steven, what up? So drive to where the police are. That's part of knowing your city. That's why I say it's the biggest tip I can give you. Know your city. Because I know exactly where all of the police hang out, besides the donut shops. And one good thing about Seattle police is they may not investigate crimes, but if anybody is actually doing a crime, they can't ignore it. That is their job. And if you force them to do their job, guess what? That drunk in the back seat ain't going to do jack. And when you see the person in back sees a police officer, they're not going to attack you, buddy. Why? Because guess what? Now they have somebody to hold them responsible. And I'm sure all of you can corroborate this, but whenever you have, when you have two passengers in your car, it's usually the one that didn't order the ride that's the complete asshole. So watch out for those folks, but if you feel you can't get out safely, then find a cop. Now, there was one ride where the guy was 6'4", drunk, high, and man, if I had my tool, this would be fixed right quick. That's what he said to his sister. And I know how to gauge people. If I had asked him to get out, I would have been attacked with an empty bottle that said 26.99% alcohol by volume. It was that close to my head. So one thing I was doing, and I did confirm this with Kent Police, is that if you feel threatened and you cannot get out of your car without serious damage to yourself, he endorsed that, yes, if your only option is to light pull, because they're not buckled up, that is what a Kent police officer told me. Okay? But keep in mind, you don't want to do that. If you can find police, or if you can drive around until you find police, then do so. I mean, there was a tactic that I was taught a while ago. If you're in a hostage situation, or if you're being held up, then you are dead until you save your own life. And that's the philosophy that I operate under. And Uber and Lyft, they're not going to tell you anything about safety. They're just going to say, pull over and just ask them to be good people. And they should do it for you. No, the hell they're not. When have you ever known a person to be a good person because somebody said to be? Much less when they're freaking drunk. So be safe out there. For the love of God, be safe. But know your city. Okay? Know where the bar spots are and circle around them. Look, what hours do I typically work? Okay, I'm talking to Stephen Power right now. Well, first let me finish this thought, then I'll have to tell you what hours I normally work. So, anyway, know where the police are, know where the bar districts are, and I would say know where the restaurants are too, because you want to hit the restaurants before the bars, that way you don't have any serious downtime. Because people that are going to bar hop that have a little bit of money, they're going to go hit a restaurant first, so know your restaurant districts too. And the hours that I work from 3 p.m. until usually 9 p.m. at night, but on the weekends, I will work from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. because America. And in the morning, I will wake up at, do I use headphones while riding an Uber? Yes, I do. But I'll tell you why in a second. And in the morning, I start driving at 5:30 and I arrive there at 6. And in, the central district where people are trying to commute to work and, avoid getting fired. So I drive from 6 a.m.-ish to, I'd say 10 a.m. I mean, I have a full day of driving. And in the meantime, that's when I get all my chores done, like during the slow time of 11 a.m. to about 2 p.m., 2 to 2:30. That's when I'm, eating food, talking to the girlfriend. By the way, I'm dating the most beautiful woman in the world. No offense to any of your girlfriends or wives or whatnot, but damn. Anyway, you ask, do I wear headphones? These headphones don't do a damn thing. I mean, they're connected, but they're turned off. Do you know why I wear these? Well, if I run into somebody I don't want to talk to, they're already in here. So basically, they won't talk to you. And let's say I run into somebody from LA that's angry, that's, had a bad day, their kids are ugly, their wife divorced them, blah, 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 and I don't want to hear their story. I'll pop this in and I'll say, oh wait, hold on. Excuse me. Oh yeah. Oh, certainly. Yeah, I'll change the station. Thank you. And then I'll pop this back in. That's one way to go about it. But when you have headphones in, people tend to not bother you. So that's why I keep these in. I could actually take these out right now, but yeah, America, why not? So, yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. But really, for the love of God, know your city. And one thing I will discourage is I highly recommend avoiding university areas. Because when you're around university areas, especially in a big city with a very well-known college and respected, guess what? You're getting those people from out of the country whose daddies have a lot of money. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like dating into money, that's cool, but whatnot, but you don't want to drive those people when they're drunk, because that whole privilege thing, it kicks it up to next level. Oh, Las Vegas. So talking to Stephen Power, you drive in Las Vegas, and you already know about the Strip and whatnot. So leave a message real quick. What areas do you avoid when it comes to the drunk hour? The hour of the wolf. And I'm going to keep talking while you do that because I'm not quite to my destination and America. But I remember driving through Vegas as a tourist. And one thing I can tell you is that the better the suit, the worse the attitude when it comes to how people act at night. Now, I will gladly, and admit this freely, the more ghetto you are in Vegas, that's the only time I will openly just go for the ghetto rides if I can. I mean, if they can't spell their name, then that's a good ride in Vegas because they can't afford to get blackout wasted. It's that, or, I mean, they just tend to be more down-to-earth people. But when it comes to Vegas, I say the wealthier the suit, the worse the attitude. The reason being is, I mean, these guys, they're overly privileged, and they're going there to just vent. That's why you go to Vegas, and that's why what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So you drive 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. That's actually a really good hour, probably every day of the week. I need to register my vehicle in Vegas. Oh, since you guys are online, I'm going to give you a solid tip, okay? This is how you do interstate driving, because I'm going to end this in just a second. All right, find a hotel, send mail, have a bill sent to yourself, okay? Find a hotel in whatever state you want to move to, have a bill sent to yourself. Save up enough money to register your vehicle. You can automatically transfer your insurance most days, and you're going to need to re-register your license. All in all, you should be out about $300, maybe $400. And that's how you can take this to another state. But the reason you have your mail go there, a utility bill, is because that's going to prove your insurance and your residence, and that's going to be used for registration because you do have to prove residence to get registration. So if you be proactive, you can drive in multiple states, which I'm about to do very soon. But I'm almost where I want to be. So I'm going to catch y'all later, okay? But drive safe, and you know what? I might do a video on interstate driving. Anyway, subscribe. Catch you later.